when it comes to raising friends and family rounds of financing, they're easier in some sense, or they could be easier in terms of these are people that love you and care about you and may not be putting you through sort of a strict analysis of your business plan and whether they can make 10x, or they probably believe they can because they love you, but they don't know for sure. And they tend to be a little bit less sophisticated on this. So maybe you've got an advantage in terms of being able to extract really great terms for you and the company. But there's some downsides to that. One of them is from a business perspective, extracting great terms from your wealthy aunt now could come back to bite you and unfortunately your aunt in the butt going forward when things kind of get normalized, when real investors show up and kind of put real valuations and terms down. And then the other one, which unfortunately we bump into and can be a difficult conversation with clients, is you're still selling equity in a sketchy startup company and you need to comply with securities laws. And, I'm sorry, but, I tell folks, my degenerate brother is not going to, be investing in startup companies. He should not be investing. My wealthy brother, fine, that he can afford the risk, but the one that isn't able to afford the risk, we shouldn't be selling him that, and folks sometimes want to do that out of the goodness of their heart. Well, he's down on his luck. He's having a rough time. But if I put a little bit of his money into this, and when I hit, because I know I will, he's going to be a millionaire. I understand. You still have restrictions on selling him equity in your sketchy startup. I'm sorry.
Right.
So
can you talk a little bit about
that's the legal side?
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that first point where you talked about having good terms with your aunt could hurt you down the road?
Yeah.
How does that look?
So, your wealthy aunt maybe is, let's assume she's wealthy not because she has a track record of successfully investing in tech startups, right? Let's assume it's something else. Yeah, she's a little bit out of her depth with this. Yeah. And you go to her and you show her, the last 5 valuations of the hottest startups on Sand Hill Road. And you say, so this is what my startup's worth, right? And then she agrees to invest in your startup at a $10 million pre-money valuation. And then you're going along and you go back out to the market to raise more money, and a quote unquote real VC shows up. And the real VC, she tells you that 2 years after your aunt's investment, your company is now worth $5 million from a pre-money valuation standpoint. Well, that's not great from a dilution standpoint. It's not great for Thanksgiving dinner with your aunt, and you need to kind of find a way to make that work. Frankly, it also betrays a little bit of naivete on your part as the entrepreneur as well. If you've got two parties who are relatively unsophisticated on valuation, maybe you shouldn't be having a valuation discussion. There's mechanisms out there like safes, simple agreement for future equity, or convertible notes. These are things that allow folks to make a quasi-equity investment into your company without having to pin down a valuation right now. They can tie the valuation to what a more experienced professional investor will pay in the future. So, those types of conversations are ones that we're happy to have with clients.